Hi, Andy. Let me show you how I go about searching through the Gospel Advocate archives. So, first I open the file folder. Make sure to put all your the years in one folder, and that way you can search that one folder. And then what I'm going to do is up here in Windows to the search bar right there. I choose what I want to search for. Now, um, so one of the keys of good searching is kind of figuring out the ways to zoom in on the information you might want. So, for instance, I remember that the uh, 1 Peter 3:10, for instance, that we've been discussing, has the word groaneth in it in the King James Version, and I assume that that's how it would appear most of the time. And no, I'm sorry, 1 Peter 3:10 doesn't. Romans chapter 8 does, has groaneth in it, and that's one verse that a lot of New to Earth people will cite as including David Lipscomb cites it as the idea of renewed earth. But so 1 Peter 3:10 says it shall be burned, right? So what I do is I search for, you can see searches I've done before: alcoholic wine, creation groaneth, creation groans. I think I did shall be burned up. And when I do that, I get lots of hits. Okay, now obviously not all of these are going to be worthwhile, but that gives me a good starting point. I did notice that one term that Lipscomb likes to use is under creation. So I search for that, and it gives me just a few hits. And so I can click on one of those. Now I use Google Chrome, and I think it's very helpful in a situation like this. So I click on it, and it pulls up the Gospel Advocate here. This one is from 1888. And then what I want to do is find what I just searched for. And so what I do now is I hit Control F, and that allows me now to do a text search. And I want to find the where the article talks about under creation. So I just searched the word creation because it might have under creation with or without a dash in there. Anyway, it's got 6 sentences there, so I'll go through all of them. But this is in one of those articles I recommended to you, The Ruin and Redemption of the World. And so anyway, I can just search through the different appearances of word creation. It says here, with man sympathizes the entire under creation that is subject by his rule. The earth was cursed for man's sin. As man becomes more vile and effeminate, he fails to cultivate the earth. You see this. Anyway, so that's how I go about searching for it. Think of the different search terms. So for Romans chapter 8, I use groaneth because that's a pretty specific kind of word that won't get a lot of false hits. I also search for the word travaileth because that's also from Romans 8. So think of specific terms you can search for, and I'd like to do it like that versus I've tried searching it using other tools, but to me this seems to be the easiest way. That's the way that I quickly find lots of hits, and you do have to, of course, sort through some that aren't that helpful. But anyway, I hope this video helps you out, and look forward to reading the finished product.